have a love for off-roading or going to the ocean, to the mountains and seeing these missions, it's definitely a must.
Baja is one of the most magical places that I've ever been.
You have a lot of freedom here and there's a lot of things to do.
I just don't think people appreciate what was put into this truck to be able to come out here and do this.
You come down here, it's got to be a Ford Raptor or you're not going to make it.
Baja Raptor Run is an organized tour of the Baja Peninsula. Depending on the year and the trip, we start at the Tecate border and make our way down the Baja Peninsula. One of the neat things about these trips is we get to expose people that wouldn't have the opportunity to Baja, and the culture and the people and all the beautiful sights that Baja California and Baja California Sur have to offer.
Baja California is something I never really knew about, the topography and the different places that you come, the towns, the people. It's just quite amazing.
Baja is an extraordinary place. It's amazing. It's nothing like I imagined. I mean, you get down here and you're going from one extreme to the other. It's warm on one side and you go to the other side of the peninsula and it's cool like this.
So we tried to mix it up this year. Instead of going to Camaraderie Trail, we went to Laguna Hansen, which is a dry lake bed up in the mountains at about 5,000 feet up in the pine forest. The road was really chewed up. I think they had a lot of snow and there was mud and potholes. It was a neat spot we've never been to before.
We ran into some conditions that were rather challenging with the amount of mud, the mud holes, the potholes that had developed on the trail from the local traffic that used it while it was muddy.
So I was very surprised that we hit mud. So in my head I thought Baja and I thought some rock riverbeds. I wasn't thinking much mud, so it was fun.
It was a tough day. A lot of people broke a lot of stuff the first day. Like myself, my fenders. Now I'm missing my driver's side mirror. It was a tough all-terrain with all the rock, the view, the mountain, everything. It was just, I was blown away.
Definitely different than all the other days, but it was a good pace. I'm glad we started there first. It was a good introduction to the next however many days,
We took the road from Valley T or outside of Valley T up to Mike's Sky Ranch, and that's a super fun road. It's well maintained and it's fast and fun, and there's some challenges at the end. It gets a little rocky when you come up on the mountains and stuff, but the reward is getting to go to Mike's Sky Ranch, which is just absolutely beautiful hotel in the middle of nowhere.
So like my buddy said, he said, I'd like to meet the damn marketing manager here. He said, that guy's a genius to get people. I mean, it's way out in the middle of nowhere. It's certainly not a 5-star for your wife, but for a guy that's doing a guy's trip, yeah, it's plenty nice. It's plenty efficient for that.
Probably the most incredible drive out there, being able to push the trucks, push them fast, go through the small little bump sections as you get out there, pick up speed quite a bit, and then you arrive at this place in the middle of nowhere, and you see all these different racers stickers. You see how those races really help shape that culture down here, right? And how instrumental those types of things are to the country here, and how they help the different areas thrive, and how they let places like this survive, not only with the surfing aspect, but a lot of people coming through on motorbikes and trucks. The most amazing trail, going up the hill, you're going left and right. It just, honestly, there's
hard words to explain how beautiful it was.
When they turn the power off at 10 o'clock at night, stop and take a look at the sky, because they call it Mike's Sky Ranch for a reason. And it's because at night you can just see the Milky Way and like stars all the way to the horizon.
It's Baja. I mean, there's stickers on everything, there's shirts up everywhere, and it's stuff that you expect to see in Baja. And then come 10 o'clock, lights are out like that. I mean, it gets dark and you can see the stars like you've never seen before. It's primitive, it's very amazing, it's awesome.
Today we are at Mike's Sky Ranch. Beautiful area. We've got a bunch of new people on the trip. Everyone's having a great time so far, and we're excited to be down here. Mike's is just one of those places that's absolutely beautiful. I think everyone really enjoyed their time here, and we're excited for the day. We're gonna go down to Bay of LA today and do a little beach time, so it should be a really good day.
Day 2 of the 2021 Baja Raptor Run, and we've taken a short side trip into the Chenowth Legacy Museum to take a look at Lynn Chenowth's race cars that he built and developed over the years. There's probably 25 cars here that show the progression of open wheel racing technology.
The Chenowth Museum in Percebu, which is a museum that's been curated by Lynn Chenowth, who famous race car builder, buggy builder from the 80s and 90s. He's got a lot of old race cars in there. There's a lot of history, a lot of Baja history from racing, and it's just a neat place all the way around.
Just so many different years of Baja vehicles that were parked in the museum, just seeing the advancement of the technology and so forth that they've put onto these vehicles it's pretty amazing how far we've come from the 60s up until now.
You can see the beginnings of the sport to where it is now, just in the one room with the cars that are in there.
You know, I don't know a whole lot about the trophy trucks, and I really haven't followed Baja races, you know, but you get into looking at someone's life work when you get into a museum, and you just respect that. You know, that was his life's work, making those frames for those trucks, and he has a passion for it. He had to recreate one because the original, no one knows where the original truck was.
The Raptor Run usually brings people that are new to the off-road world on the trips to Baja, who want to see Baja, and they also they have a keen interest in off-road racing. With the trip to the Chenowth Museum, it piques that interest and helps them understand how what they have and what they're driving fits in with the history of off-road.
Everyone likes to do this, hitting golf balls into the ocean. Luckily, we've been using environmentally friendly, biodegradable golf balls, so no issue with contaminating the water. This time there was actually a bet so you could hit the longest drive. I didn't participate. I do not like golf. I like driving off-road, not hitting golf balls.
Brought out the golf clubs and the golf balls and did a long drive contest to see who could win, and I think the winner took probably 400 pesos home with him.
So yeah, that was fun. I don't know who thought about bringing golf clubs to the beach, but definitely got to keep doing that. That was cool.
Oh, look at it go. It's still there.
And I hadn't played golf in so long, went out there and made myself look like a fool a little bit, but it's fun, right?
I don't know if they're better drivers than golf players or not. It might be equal skill, golf and driving.
I bought him a whole set of clubs. We made a little bet. It was nothing big. See who gets the longest drive. It took me like 3 or 4 shots, but I got one. I end up taking the pot. I think it was only like $6, but it was fun hitting the balls in the beach.
I think I won. I think I hit it the furthest, but Tony was quick to grab all the cash. I'm glad they brought their clubs and we got to hit. That was great. A lot of fun.
After we went to the beach of Percebu, found a really neat section that had some really beautiful rocks and then a nice silt bed that everyone got to play in, so made for some really cool shots of blazing through the silt.
We headed south to El Crucero and picked up some of the Baja 1000 racing course. The course right there is very brutal, big whoops, slow going, but it's some of the most beautiful scenery. It epitomizes what Baja looks like with the tall cardon cactus, the Ciro trees, all the other lower cactus, the agaves that we see that go through there.
From my own, footage of what I took and my girlfriend Ashley, there was the lighting was beautiful. So I remember that we pulled over and just kind of enjoyed that. Seeing these really tall cactuses that were triple overhead, it was crazy.
Sergio and I stopped at a photo spot that I had from the 2017 Baja 1000. We happened to hit it right at the right time, right at sunset.
And so as you're driving into the Bay of LA, you have all these cactus and they're 30 feet. It's almost like a forest of cactus that are 30 feet tall. So as you're looking around, you're going, you're definitely not in Kansas anymore.
That's what I expected to see when I got down here was tall cactus. Some of them were 50, 60 feet tall. It was amazing. And then coming through there and everything had points on it. There was nothing but cactus. It was great.
Going through that road and you see miles and miles left and right of just cactus, just beautiful. And then I think the sunset was like a perfect, we just wanted to stop, take a picture. It was beautiful.
The guys all got to experience actual race size whoops. It was some tough going, but we were out in the giant saguaro cactus as the sun was setting, and it was absolutely breathtaking. So it was another one of those things where maybe didn't go exactly as you wanted it to, but the reward was just an epic sunset, and it was just absolutely gorgeous.
We spent the night in Bahia de Los Angeles, which is a fisherman's paradise right on the Sea of Cortez and a very well-protected bay, are hard to match any place else in the world.
Day 3 was an interesting day. A few things happened. The goal was to go to the San Borja mission. On the way there, we found a vado that we thought would be a good spot for a photo op.
We were running out front, Sergio and I, in the Bronco, cruise along looking for a photo spot. And we came across this little jump, and I told Sergio, this is it. We're gonna go right here. Announced on the radio, hey, found a nice little flyer. It's good for about 45, maybe 50 miles an hour. Trey goes through it, nice little jump. Nog goes through it, good jump. Hey, Nog, that was a pretty good one. He got the highest. And then Will came through. He went a little bit bigger. Will's winning. So I guess Junior heard that on the radio and said, nope, that's not how it's gonna go today. He came around the corner in a 4-wheel drift, and then I hear him put it to the floor. He landed, nothing happened, except maybe he broke his back.
So Junior was right in front of me. My whole deal before that was catch his ass. My hat's off to that guy. He's a legend.
Junior, man, whew, that guy's in a different level, man. I think that guy hit it at 70, 80 miles an hour.
I didn't know there was a jump per se. I knew there was a photo op, but when it came over the radio that Will had the highest jump, I was like, okay, let's see and watch this. At the end of the day, I got the highest jump. The truck survived. So when you came up to the truck and you're going, hey, are you okay? And I'm trying to show you with my hands like, I'm good, but I can't talk because I can't breathe. So I said, hey, did you get the picture?
Look at that. Wow. I can't even put that on the cover. Like, I can't use that. Like,
Sick jump, bro.
that is insane. Like, absolutely insane.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And his truck is pretty stock. I think he's only done a couple things to it, but that was amazing.
Any other truck in the world, you'd be taking that home in a bucket. You come down here, it's got to be a Ford Raptor or you're not going to make it.
It's one of the things I always try to really preach to everyone that's going on the trips is how dangerous Baja is, and like how quickly things go from being, oh, we're having a great time, to, oh man, like this could have been bad, or it is bad. You know, Baja's so beautiful, but you got to respect, or it'll get you, and it'll get you real quick.
The mission was really cool. We had the old man that came out and gave us the rundown of His family had started that so many years ago, and I can't remember how long ago it was, but yeah, it was really great to see how old that was and how they've sustained it and taken care of it for so many years, and it was really, really cool.
Jesuits believed that this was the, I guess like the holy water, but you could pray here on your knees and have a direct line to God. Since I speak Spanish, I ended up becoming the interpreter for the whole crew, and it was really fascinating to hear the story from a direct descendant of somebody that came from, I guess, the 1600s.
Amazing how long it took to build. When the guy said one part was built in 1700 and the other part to finish it was 1760, it took 60 years to finish it.
Really in the middle of nowhere that's been maintained by the same family for 7 generations. So there's a lot of history there. It's a neat place to visit. It's one of my favorite spots in Baja just because you wouldn't expect it to be there. It's just in the middle of nowhere and there's this big stone mission, and it's been there since the early 1700s, and it makes you really appreciate the history of Baja.
He was a character in himself. You could tell he was very proud of where he was from, his history, his family, and again, the scenery was gorgeous and he was very welcoming to us, and that felt good.
After San Borja, we took a road out to the Pacific and had lunch, and it was absolutely breathtaking. We had a big beach all to ourselves and really enjoyed it. It was really hot in San Borja, and we got to the coast and it was in the 60s and nice and comfortable, and we had a good time.
We had been in the truck the whole time, and then once we come up over the hill and got onto the beach, I opened the door and I was like, oh, it was 20 degrees cooler than it was from where we came from.
So we started that morning on the Sea of Cortez. 4 hours later, we're on the Pacific side, on the coast, having our lunch, you know, toes in the sand on the beach. And that's the cool thing about Baja is from 1 minute, you know, you start over here in the Sea of Cortez, and then just a short drive across some really cool roads, and you're on the Pacific Ocean. You really can't beat that. There's nothing in the States you can do that. You can't park on the beach in the States.
It was just like a beach all by ourselves, and you really didn't see anybody there except for us. And then you have these really cool black rocks and the water coming in. It was a sight to see.
After we left San Ignacio, we went south along the coast road and then took a left and went up the canyon that was created by Rio Raimundo, the king of the world river. Most people think of Baja California as a arid and cactus-strewn desert, where in fact there are a lot of areas that are very heavily vegetated, and there are little oases that have springs, and the river was flowing as we came over the canyon, and the vegetation changes to become almost jungle-like when we get to the top of the ridge.
The canyon was my favorite I've seen, I think, in Baja. I got a little bit of everything. You got the canyons, you got the mountains, you got the water, you got the riverbeds, you got the rocks, and there's a bunch of trees, which was amazing. That is the explanation, I think, of Baja. Between sand and that picture was exactly what I was hoping to see. You can't recreate those canyons anywhere you go. And if you don't take this trip, and if you're not willing to take these trails, you will never see the canyons, and you'll never get to see Baja as we watched it.
It is basically a road that runs up and across a riverbed and over the mountains from the Pacific to the Sea of Cortez and Mulegé. I'm still blown away with how pretty that road was, and it was a challenging road. I would say we crossed the river 20 or 30 times, but there was a few water crossings that were pretty cool and a little bigger, and everyone got to splash the trucks a little bit.
When we're going through the canyons, everything gets really green, and it's almost like you're in a different country already. And you're still in Baja, Mexico, but it's so green, it's so vast and so different. It's forestry, but not pine tree, but it's lots of trees and very green. It's really interesting.
If you could drive down through the Grand Canyon, that would be what it was like.
That's incredible. Canyons and roads down through there. It was kind of rough because we went slow because there's just so much to look at. You don't want to fly through there. It was just, that's beautiful.
Yeah, we came across a couple of Americans on bikes, on the fat tire bikes, and they may want to be able to catch a ride if possible with somebody.
Yeah, so we pull up on these people that are on bikes and they're in the middle of nowhere. We're in the desert. We pull up, just pretty much ask them to jump in with us because I think we're at least 40 miles from civilization. I can't believe they were even out there on bikes. I mean, it was crazy, and I didn't see one bottle of water on them.
I think they were from California. They were riding their bikes through the desert, and when we were taking a break, somebody offered, I think Junior offered them a ride, and Junior put their bikes in the back, and whatever we can do to help people. He goes, and we put them in their bikes when we were going to the next town and dropped them off to help them out.
So when you have these cyclists and we're all kind of loading their bikes up, and somebody has a picture of David's jump where he jumped super high, and he goes, "You sure you want to go with these guys? Because here's the picture." And he goes, "Sure," because this guy is like crazy.
One of the things we always say in Baja is like it's Baja karma. Like you want to help people out because you never know, maybe you need the help next time. And it was mid-90s and it was hot, and they really needed a ride and some help. So we threw the bikes in one of the trucks, that a little extra room, and gave them a ride over to Mulahay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're the smartest people on earth by any means.
It's a difficult place to do whatever it is you do down here, whether it's off-roading or bike riding or just living life. And we like to help out the other people and hope that it develops some good karma for when we have problems.
The San Javier mission is, what, 321 years old? Like, so much history there, and that's something I really, really like. It's really, really cool to be able to walk into a place like that and you can feel the history there.
I think the historical aspect that you can see as you travel through these towns, you go to the middle of nowhere, you take dirt roads out for miles and miles, and then you end up on these beautiful places that, have sustained all the different environmental impacts for hundreds of years. It's pretty incredible just to see that, again, the passion that the locals have around the mission and the preservation of the mission and just the historical architecture and value that you see there, and being able to see just the vastness of the experience that they've been able to live and carry on through generations is incredible to see.
The mission that we visited today, I'd been there before, and it was really kind of special because there's a lot of history that goes with that. There's an olive tree in the back that's like 400 years old, and you have all these different Jesuit priests that started this, and then the Franciscan priest came in, and the Dominican priesthood came in, and so all the story that comes with that. And then the town is really cool all by itself. The little area that you drive up, everything's so super clean, and the people that live there just really take advantage of the beauty of it.
Seeing something that you never see every day, and like when the people saw us from the village, they started opening their stores to we go support them. It was nice. It was beautiful.
The mission today was one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. It was very pretty there. All the people there were really nice. The guy gave us a rundown on the mission, and all the paintings that were in the back of the mission. It was very beautiful. And the background is behind a mountain. It was beautiful.
It's an incredible piece of work too. I mean, we were standing out there. I mean, several of us are in the construction trade, and just thinking, God, somebody had to be the architect for that. No telling how many years it took them to build that. The interesting story was, I don't know if you heard that, they said the Roman priest that had come over and was kind of enslaved the people there to build that, and then later all the people turned on him and killed him, and then they didn't use it for 100 years because they thought it was haunted. I mean, it's a lot of history.
So I was actually joking with my wife earlier in the drive about how if I wouldn't have bought that Raptor in 2010, I would have never come to Baja like this, and how much Baja has changed my life. It's completely altered the course of my life and a lot of who I am, because I decided to take a couple trips down here, and it went from going for ourselves, having fun with friends, to a hobby and like racing, and then now we lead these tours, and it's even a business, and it's just one of those things that was really lucky that I found Baja, and I'm so grateful I get to come down here and get to do these things down here.
Baja has lots of different terrain. It's very diverse. Beautiful pine trees, ancient pine forests, lakes, to the rocky coast of the Sea of Cortez, like around Gonzaga and stuff. Then we have Pacific side, cooler, beautiful. We have towns like this, San Juanico's, beautiful surf here.
Most guys are probably going, hey, we're in Baja. A lot of people know it as racing. When they go, hey, what are you doing in Baja? I'm going, hey, I'm tearing up my truck, right? Because I'm not a professional off-road guy, right? So but we do like to have fun in the trucks.
Be able to experience the different aspects day to day. It's a new adventure, so you wake up with the excitement of what's next, right? You have fun being able to push your trucks, being able to go through the different terrain, but also just the vast views, and then also just watching all the guys come together and just have fun, help support each other, have each other's back. If you need help, everybody stops and pulls over. It's all that aspect, right? You create this own little community of people through these experiences, and it's great to be able to share that. One of my really good friends with me, and just be able to share that with him, and him drive and me co-drive, and it's fun to, be in the co-driver's seat, because you get to say like, hey, stop. I know you're just hustling through here, but stop and look up and see the vastness of what nature's provided for us to come out here and see and experience.
Like I said, I've been watching these videos now for like 3 years. I would watch it and watch it and watch it over and over. So it really was what I thought it would be in the challenging aspect. The views and the terrain, I had no idea. I wasn't, too sure how it'd feel when you're in the moment, but beautiful.
El Teal is a little fishing village down in the Pacific, north of San Juanico. People there are really kind, really enjoy when people stop into town to visit them. So we always stop there and try to give out some coloring books and things for the kids.
For this trip in particular, Trey asked us to make a special book that we could hand out to the kids in the communities. We have tried to make off-road like a really safe activity. If it's off-road racing in particular, or any kind of off-road trip, we try to contribute to make a safer sport. With the coloring books, we try to inform the kids on how to be safe out there.
Start them young and teach them how it's all related to the off-road racing, on how to spectate a race, not be in the course, trying to touch the trucks, stuff like that. But stand back, watch, enjoy it. That's a really cool deal.
This book shows them the safety and the common sense and to kind of stay away. It's pretty cool what Ruben's doing.
The coloring books are great to help them just understand the impacts of COVID, but also understand how to be safe around the races. I think that's really great. And then being able just to share something with them, right? Is that we're not here just to abuse, the land that they're in. We're here to enjoy what they've got, but we also want to be able to give back to them and help, make their day bright, and be able to see the smiling faces as they run up to your truck and be able to give back to them. It's been pretty awesome.
Bringing new people to Baja is quite the challenge at times. There are people that are made for it, and there are people that sometimes are not and need help getting used to it. It's a completely different environment from what most people do in their day-to-day lives, whether it's the back roads or the language barrier or just the money exchange between pesos and dollars. It's gratifying to help people that have never done this before become accustomed to it and enjoy their trip in Baja.
You always meet new people, and it's the same thing that I love, they love. It's now I build a relationship with the people in October, now I'm building new relationships with other people on this trip, and it's something amazing.
Everyone here is great. Everybody has the same mentality. We're all here for the same reason, to have a good time. There's actually people here from my hometown that I've never met before that we're gonna be lifelong friends, I can guarantee it. Everyone here it helps out. I mean, it's someone breaks down, everyone jumps in. There's never an issue of someone having, everyone wants to help out.
Of course, I've traveled extensively in Mexico, but this Baja, I've never been on Baja. Totally different. Very friendly, very safe. In fact, I got lost again a while ago. And a gentleman, of course, we had a little language barrier, but he was able to tell me where this hotel was.
It's not an easy task to take 15 trucks down here and take them for a little tour around Baja. You got to have everything lined up, and Trey and everybody involved. You have to have a really good group of people to do it. Trey's put together a really good group. From the leadership to the media and everything, everybody's on point, everybody's doing what they need to do to make sure the clients have a really good time. And so far, it seems like everybody is having a great time. That's the main thing we're trying to do, is show them what Baja is, and they're having a good time.
pretty good that this trip we're almost home. We're on ending day 8 right now, and we've had a really good trip. Everyone's safe and has had fun. It's been an absolutely great group. We've had some really good ambassadors for the trip, for Baja. Everyone's been really respectful, and I think everyone's had an awesome time, and I have too.
Glad I went with these guys. These guys were professional. They were accommodating. They would let you know where we're going, where we're gonna end up. From every little turn, they made sure everyone was safe, and that was really important. If you've been, watching these videos, or you have a love for off-roading or going to the ocean, to the mountains and seeing these missions, it's definitely a must. Bring a friend, bring a brother, bring your wife, bring your family, do what you gotta do.
It's an awesome group. They know how to prepare. They know how to manage everything. The way they work together is awesome. That's why I'm back again, because I know I'm safe and I don't have to worry about my safety or my wife's safety. He goes, you know who you are, you know what you drive, buy the ticket, take that ride. And honestly, I swear to that. I recommend it to everybody. It's an awesome experience, and I recommend every single person to come.
Trey and Hudson, I got to give it to them. Trey up front, his heart is in this. They bleed off-road, right? Hudson, to get underneath the truck, whether he's on the trail or in a parking lot, if it's 1 in the morning or 6 in the morning, to get that truck back on the trail, he's underneath there turning wrenches. Hudson, Trey, Art, and both the guys from Rada Media, this wouldn't be the same crew. So I think you add all that together, and this is why this is a great event. Because everyone involved loves what they do, and they're doing what they love.
I got a Get Some hat for this guy because he wins the Get Some award for this trip.
The legend.
Only thing I wanted on this trip was a hat, and I still haven't got a hat.
It took a while to remember everybody's name as you're running through and you're calling other people other names, but as you progress through, you figure out the people personalities, and everybody's just really welcoming, right? I mean, you have opportunity to go and just relax. You also have the time at night just to be able to sit back and joke and just to have fun, enjoy people's stories about how they got here, about their families, the things that are important to them, and it's been really great to see just everybody come back together. I think, through this, there'll be a lot of opportunities as we go forward just to have these trips together again and just be able to enjoy the camaraderie that we've been able to pull together this trip.
I told my wife earlier today, I said, I've had more fun. Now, Rat and I took 30 days off and rode our motorcycles to Alaska and back, 10,000 miles, and we had a blast, but I'm telling you, this has been probably as much fun as I've ever had. Thank you, appreciate it.
I will say this, everybody besides Will Hawkins I enjoyed. I've been on a lot of damn trips, a lot, all over the world, fishing, hunting, travel. This ran pretty damn smooth.
Yeah.
Good job. I'm pretty impressed. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a guy's trip.
So the reason this trip worked so well was because of the team behind it, and I've got an awesome team. Hudson, Mark Noggle, Kenny and Ruben on the highway, Sean Hoagland at home booking all the hotel rooms, Art Eugenio taking pictures, and Rada Media putting together these awesome videos. So without that great team, this wouldn't work. And we all know Baja well, and we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we kind of play off of that. And with the group, we're able to really put together a solid foundation for making a safe trip. And I think it shows in the end result. So I'm really proud of that. I'm also really thankful to my wife for letting me come down here and continue to adventure across Baja for days and weeks at a time. So I really appreciate Laura for letting me come down here and get to spend all this time chasing my dream.